All right, so
I have to give you a little bit of credit for this.
Yeah, we can overdub it later. Just
I haven't had any crazy stories about. Oh wait, no, I do. I got robbed at gunpoint, mugged.
Checking for me, but I ain't checking for them. No.
It's sleazy real estate, guys. But
you. All right, so another episode of the EP podcast here. It's inauguration week. It's been 4 days since the inauguration, right, Arthur?
It has.
It has been 4 days. We're gonna cover our thoughts on it, what we saw, what we missed, what Arthur saw and I maybe didn't see, and vice versa, and kind of just go from there. As you can see, it's our first one of the year. It's been a while. It's probably been it's been almost 2 months now, but we're very excited to come back. And you might be seeing different takes between different cameras. That's because we have upgraded our equipment. If you saw our last episode with Patrick Brady, who is actually fighting tomorrow at the Wells Fargo Center. Wells Fargo, is that what it is?
Yep.
Wells Fargo Center, BKFC. But Arthur, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm tired. We've been trying to set this up for 3 hours now, so the things that you don't see behind the scenes, but we do it for you guys because we enjoy it when you guys enjoy it. So if you appreciate that, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any more episodes to come in the future. So Arthur, it has been 4 days since Inauguration Day. A lot has happened since. I'll tell you straight off the bat. I didn't watch it live. It's work it was a busy week with work because we go through cycles, but I did catch up with a good amount of it. I didn't get to see as much of what happened. Was it at the Capital One building? Not Capital One, I'm sorry. What was the one where they had the
Capital One Arena?
Capital One Arena.
Yeah.
Ironically enough, they had the swearing in at the Capitol, at the Rotunda. Is that what they call it? Rotunda?
In the Rotunda at the Capitol building.
Yeah. So, but let's go ahead and chop it up from there. Well, first off, it's been, it's 2025 now. Last time I saw you was right before the holidays, at least with the podcast. How has it been for you?
New Year's getting off to a slow start, but that's all right.
Yeah. I'm drowning, guys. I'm drowning. We've been editing like crazy. We've been starting a lot of stuff on the side, projects that are going to come up in the future, and just keeping the ball rolling. But that that's the 2025 spirit for you. So Arthur, let's go straight into it. I looked up what was going on in DC that day. I had actually received an invitation to go to the to the inauguration, but I thought, one, why am I receiving this? And I realized, it's because I went to a Trump rally. So I think anybody that went to a Trump rally got that. But on top of that, after I found out there was going to be indoors, I say, you know what? So if it's going to be indoors, does that mean I can't go in? I didn't bother looking too much into it. So I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to sit this one out. Plus, I have a ton of work to do the next day. It was on a Monday. Monday is a busy day for anybody in corporate America. So,
well, my guess is your ticket would have been for the general admission into the Capital One Arena, which was on a first come, first serve basis.
Yeah.
So people were actually camping out the entire night.
Yeah.
In literally tents to try to make sure they held their spot in line.
And I think, I don't even know how, do me a favor. Let's see. Actually, let me just look it up here. How many people does the Capital Arena hold?
I want to say it's roughly 20,000.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah, that's the exact number I had in my head. Yeah. So, but let's back up a little bit. Let's talk about the swearing-in ceremony. Right? It was in the Capitol Rotunda.
Yep.
They made it indoors. Outside was too cold. The weather that day was around 27 degrees Fahrenheit with a wind chill temperature of 14 degrees. Part of a little bit of the things that was going on that day, or like conspiracy theories, was that, security risk, all that stuff like that. But I think ultimately it was really, truly the weather, right? Sure, it might have been something in the back of the head, but I think people, no one wants to sit around for 24 degrees. I mean, I heard a ton of people went there, celebrities, you name it. And they were talking about how they would go, and it was a sunny day too at that. It was a sunny day. And even then, just the people that were just getting from one place to the other, not even necessarily going to a thing, it's like they said that it was ridiculous. Like it was too much. So I can't even imagine what it was like for the people trying to go into the Capital One building. So 27 degrees. Do you think there was more to it, or do you really think that's what it came down to?
I mean, historically, I mean, the wind chill factor is the difference here. When JFK did his swearing in 1961, it was 22 degrees. It had just snowed 8 inches that day. And when you see the pictures of the parade, or I guess it's the parade route, you see people literally bundled up in sleeping bags. They're in full winter clothing, and then they're like tied up in their sleeping bags to stay warm.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it has been done before.
More the reason why I wouldn't have wanted to go. So here's the thing, right? I attended both sides of the parties last year, and I enjoyed doing it because I'm a take it all in guy. I'm a take it all in guy. I would have loved to go there, but me, I'm Hispanic, man. I'm used to that. I was born in that 90-degree weather, and now that I've been in this country now for almost 20 years now, I still have not fully adjusted to the cold weather. So, see me, my ears get cold, my fingers get cold, and then I'm just crying, the next minute. But to your point of the JFK comment, I decided to look up the coldest inauguration day that was held inside. Right?
The coldest that was held inside?
Yeah, so because it's not the first time it's been held inside before.
No, it's definitely not.
Right. So I looked up what occasion it was the coldest then. So, and that was during Reagan's 40th, the 40th President Reagan during his second inauguration in 1985, where it was 7 degrees Fahrenheit. So, the other day was 27. We're talking here in 1985 at 7 degrees Fahrenheit at noon with a low of 4 below zero. So it was also held in the Rotunda, and different to this time around where they had the traditional parade, inaugural parade at the Capital One building, they completely canceled it that day.
Correct.
But then I looked up, it makes more sense. The coldest inauguration they held outside. That was during Ulysses Grant, who was the 18th president in 1873, where it was 16 degrees at noon and a low of 4 during the day. So 16 degrees is lower than what it was this week, of 27 and a low of 14. I don't know how people did it then, man. I mean, then again, it is 1873. Maybe people in 1873 had a little bit more balls than we do now, and we're a little bit more comfortable. But I can't imagine being outside in that kind of weather for that long.
Well, it's also gotten to be a bigger ordeal now than it has been in the past. It was a shorter ceremony. It was. I mean, we've keep adding more and more. We've added an entertainment factor to it. I don't believe they had people coming in singing during the inauguration when Grant was made president.
Yeah.
I believe it was just more of a short and sweet swearing in ceremony.
Yeah.
Then he gives a speech afterwards.
It's a full day event. It's a full day event.
Blown up to a full day event and evening as well, with all the balls that are hosted afterwards. There's not just one ball that the president goes to. He's invited to multiple.
Well, Inauguration Day is Inauguration Day, and that's a full day in itself. But now there's the day before, there's the day after. There's the day. This is like a multi-day process.
Yeah, it keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah. It almost feels like a music festival minus, well, I guess, because they bring out artists and everything, to these things to perform. And the amount of celebrities over there, we're going to get into that a little bit more. But, I do think that it was ultimately that it was extremely cold, too cold to hold it outside, and not security reasons.
I think it really had to do with they wanted to have a rally style feel in the Capital One
Okay,
arena.
So unpack that a little bit. What do you mean by that?
This is the first time that, as past presidents are being brought into the room, they're showing it's happening in the Rotunda.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was a room in the Capitol that was for overflow because you can't get all of the representatives and senators into the Rotunda. So they had a second room in the Capitol building.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had a place off-site, so Capital One Arena.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when they were showing the live feed in Capital One Arena, people were booing as past presidents walked in.
Yeah, sure.
That has never been the case before when they've done it as a large group and everyone's on the mall. There aren't boos coming as the past presidents are coming. That's just disrespectful. Whether you like them or not doesn't matter. You don't get to.
I don't disagree with you. There hasn't been much diplomacy, and I would say probably. I mean, again, this is where my lack of know it all in this country with the politics comes in. But like, there was certainly a dynamic change when Trump went initially into office, and what politics looks then and now, before then and now. But it more kind of gives more like a football game vibe, where the opposing team comes out and it's like boo, and then like the team you're favoring, it's like cheering and chanting. But no, yeah, I agree with you with that. But you had told me that it more seemed like a Trump rally.
It felt like it.
And I want to my comment to you with that was that yes, you should be, is the right word, nonpartisan here. You should be there to just be there for the historical event, not for
Correct.
right. But that's the ideal situation. We don't live in an ideal world.
Not anymore. Before Trump came into politics, probably the most divided election was Bush versus Gore.
Okay.
And people were really heated on that.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, when it was Bush that won,
Mm-hmm.
the reporters were there on Inauguration Day, and they were just doing interviews around the crowd
Mm-hmm.
and asking, did you support Bush or did you support Gore?
Yeah.
And they got a balance of people.
Uh-huh.
And they asked, well, since you were such a strong Gore supporter, why did you come out?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, it's American history. This only happens once every 4 years. I don't live that far away from it. I don't have an excuse not to come out and support the president, regardless of who won. Wasn't my choice,
Yeah.
but I'm coming out to support them.
Yeah.
And again, that would be a perfect time for people to be out there booing, but that didn't happen because we were trying to bring everybody back together.
Mm-hmm.
Trump keeps saying the words,
At the same time,
but he
there's
keeps
no
calling
one,
everybody
there's
names.
no one stopping them from going. Sure.
There is no one stopping them from going. But as you flat out said about Trump, he's not presidential. So that's what we have. We have somebody who's the president who's not presidential.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He keeps saying the words to unite the country, and then in the next sentence, he starts trashing people. That's not who you want as leading the country. You don't want someone who's going to keep going around and trashing people. You
Look,
may not like them, but you don't get to call them names. And there's a whole Wikipedia page of all the nicknames people have.
yeah, it's funny.
Nicknames he has for people.
It's funny you say that. What is it today? As the 24th? It's the 24th, and I saw that today. Trump landed in California. He landed in California with his wife, Melania, and the moment they get off the, what is it, Air Force One?
Air Force One now.
Air Force One. And the moment that he's coming down the steps, all I'm immediately is just hearing in my head is Gavin Newsom. That's all I'm hearing. Gavin Newsom.
Exactly.
And it's just like, here's the thing, right? There is a place and a time, right? There is a place and a time, maybe in sports when you're talking smack to each other. I think when we're going into that level of politics, where it's supposed to be professional.
Talking smack and calling somebody a name. Are they the same?
Let me finish. And be in a professional manner, no, you shouldn't be behaving that way. Now, it's where we are now. It doesn't make it okay. But it's where we are now, right? I will say this. I think that Trump, this time around, it's not the same Trump we had the first time around. The first time around, Trump was completely like, I know you're going to feel like it's going to be the same. He's the same now, where he still doesn't have a clue what the hell's going on.
Oh, no, it's going to be worse now.
But, see? And what I was going to say was that he had no clue. He's more experienced now. He's been around the block a little bit more now. He knows kind of how these things go on in and out, like, behind closed doors and everything like that. I don't know, man. I see a little bit of a different Trump. I see like his foot's a little bit down now. Like I don't see he's putting up front from anybody. Like he's not messing, like he's not taking, for lack of a better term, shit from anyone. So, and I think that we need a little bit of that right now, especially when it comes to other countries. I don't think they're taking us as serious as we did. I mean, look at everything that's going on around the world now. Freaking Bukele is now in contact with Trump. Communicated with him. He's in touch with Putin, trying to work something now. He's in touch with like all the other and they all speak good on him. They all speak good, but regardless of whether that may just be a front because he's now president or not, I think that in different times when you have different leaders, and I think he's what we have now. And in comparison to the options we had, I think we have what we have now. I think we have what we have now. But no, I agree with you in the fact that we shouldn't be name calling, right? Because we set an example. You know, the leader is supposed to set an example, and one of name calling is not one. It's not one. Not at that level of, you know, diplomacy. You know, for a lack of a better term, is that the right word, diplomacy?
It is, but name calling's never appropriate.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Name calling.
name
calling.
when you're, you know, when you're shooting the shit with your friends and you're kind of talking smack to one another jokingly, that's name calling.
That's different, but you're not doing it in a public setting. You're not in a microphone with 1 million people watching,
right,
calling one of your buddies name.
Right.
You're being more respectful to them.
Well, you know what? I don't disagree with you, but Trump has taken a lot of crap these past couple of years, and you know, I don't think he's the type to just sit around and let someone just, you know, do all they have done to him.
So you're saying he's retaliating?
No, I'm just saying that. I'm sorry, Arthur. If you hit her, you're not going to hit back?
If I get hit, am I not going to hit back?
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about physical altercation.
I'm just saying, like, even if it's verbally, like, if we're in an altercation and I hit you, are you going to hit back?
From a political standpoint, if it's a political standpoint, then their response is no.
I mean, I argue that
you don't hit back.
If we're talking from a political standpoint,
you don't hit back.
No, I'm not saying two wrongs make a right. What I am saying, when someone's trying to attack your family, when someone's trying to take away all of your money and everything that you ever try to do, whatever the case is, I think that you do have to defend yourself a little bit. You do. You have to defend yourself to some extent. Just because you're defending yourself, it doesn't mean that you're necessarily trying to be like two wrongs make a right.
But you can be defending yourself by actions, by showing how they are wrong, instead of going up on stage and calling people names and just it's.
And yet here we are.
Correct.
And yet here we are.
Correct.
And yet here we are.
I didn't say we're in a good place.
So I'm just saying that if your way was the honorable way or whatever it is, then that would have worked, but it didn't. So I can't help but think that just means that we're in different times. So we need different courses of action. I don't know what that looks like. Again, I'll say it again. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If I'm wrong, I'll admit I'm wrong. I will only know if I'm wrong with time. And when that time comes, I will gladly admit that I'm wrong. But as of right now, I have yet to be wrong. So that's how I feel about that.
Okay.
All right. Well, moving on. So there was the whole thing was a spectacle, right? So so from you mentioning people getting booed and hooray or whatever it was, all the way to you know, we started going into things. So they all go in, and then they do the VP swearing in, right? They did JD.
They did. Yep.
They did JD.
You always do the VP first,
right?
In case the president gets assassinated while being signed in, then you have a president.
Yeah,
that's the reason they do that.
Do me a favor, pull up JD Vance swear in. Here's something specifically that I think all of us guys can appreciate. So pull up JD swearing in. It should be like a 2-minute long video. Let me see if I can find it here, and then I'll point you in the right direction. Let's see here, JD Vance. So if you look up JD Vance sworn in, you can see a 2-minute video of Inauguration Day 2025. JD Vance sworn in as Vice President. Find it? YouTube. Huh? Okay, and then just pull that up on the screen real quick. We're testing this live, guys. We're testing this live. Now we're bringing it to you the videos. So pull up the video on the screen. You're fine. Bear with us, guys. And I'll full screen it. Here's something I want to highlight. Go ahead, play it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Associate Justice Kavanaugh to
go forward a little bit. Go forward a little bit. Forward. Yep. Go once he's getting sworn in.
Repeat after me.
A little bit more.
James David Vance.
Leave it there. Hold on.
That I will support
Watch this.
and defend the Constitution of the United States. That I will support.
Look at this. Pause it right
the
there.
Constitution of the United States.
Pause it right there. Look at that. What man would not want his lady looking at him like that? You know, the second lady. I saw that. I'm like, look at that was it the entire time. Keep playing it. Keep playing it.
Against all enemies,
Look at it. The entire time, just even when he's not talking, just pure smiles and everything.
that I will bear.
Wouldn't want your lady looking at you like that, man. All right, this is one of the things I wanted to point out. Let's move on from that.
That I take
So, JD Vance gets sworn in. Now, before that happened, another thing I wanted you to pull up. Sorry, I'm really having you work here. Is look up Carrie Underwood singing "America the Beautiful." Here's the other thing I want to bring up. Or Carrie Underwood inauguration. And then there's one by Fox 5 New York. No, that's not a video. Let's see. Yep, they're right there. Fox 5 New York. Fox 5 New York. Yep, right there. I don't know if you caught this, Arthur, what was happening. Skip like a minute and a half.
ladies and gentlemen, performing American.
Yep, right there. So the song went on and then it went off. Right? The song went on and then it went off. And it was like this for a whole minute. Click forward a few times. And then stop it right there. Go back.
You know the words, help me out here.
Boom.
Oh, beautiful.
All right, let's move on. So
They had a technical glitch.
they had a technical glitch, and Carrie Underwood, don't exit that video. Carrie Underwood, you know, she says, if you know the words, you know, sing it with me. I mean, the balls you got, the confidence you got to have to do that kind of thing is just amazing. Like, especially with all the presidents and everything, you know, I mean, what do you think about that?
Well, again, you're in the Capitol Rotunda, so it's actually more of an intimate setting than
Yeah.
you think it is because it's 150 people.
Mhm.
So wherever she is,
Mhm.
she can't see the entire room. There's a section of the room that she can't see. So
Yeah.
she could be looking out at a crowd, but it could be a crowd of 100.
Mhm.
And I'm sure with performances like she does, you know, looking out at 100 people,
Right.
she's like, oh, this is like dress rehearsal.
Yeah. So here's the other thing I wanted to point out at this. Now, you know, he did not have sex with that woman. That's what I'm going to say. All right. Go a little bit more closer towards the end of the video. Let's see if it comes up. Go one more. Hold on. Now pause right here. Pause right here. I want you to look at Bill Clinton right there, right? Right. Look at him right there, right? Pause. Pause.
Just be careful where you go with this.
Pause it. Pause. I mean, I'm sorry. Play it. Look at that. Look at that. Go back again. Go back again. Bill was ready to risk it all to get a good look at Carrie right there. You saw that? Go back again. Look at that. Did you catch that? Look at him. Oh, man. He almost broke his neck there. But he wasn't the other one who had a moment like that. So Carrie kills it. You know, POTUS gets sworn in. The biggest thing that stuck out with me when I was watching this, not live, but after the fact, was that there was no hand on the Bible.
Mhm.
Right? That was the first thing that stuck out with me.
Yep.
So I looked it up. I was like, what's going on here? Why is there no hand on the Bible? Everybody else typically does it. You know, I'm like, help me understand this a little bit more. He did it his first time around. He's not doing it this time around. So I'm a little bit wondering why. But then I saw that Melania was carrying 2 books. Apparently one was given by his mother when he was a child. The second one is the Lincoln Bible, which was used at Abraham Lincoln's 1861 inauguration. And it's, you know, while it's done by most, you know, presidents when they get inaugurated, it's not like a requirement, right? But then to you know, fire back at that a little bit, you know, he's talking about got this, got that, got this, got that, but then doesn't put his hand on the Bible. I don't know what he was trying to do with that. I don't know if he was trying to spread a message. I don't know if it's something in Abraham's, Bible, the Lincoln Bible, was something in there. I don't know what that was. What do you think it was?
Okay, well, the Lincoln Bible has only ever been used for the swearing in of Abraham Lincoln, Barack Obama,
Yeah.
and Donald Trump. So
Yes.
he requested that. So it's not like this is something that gets done for every president. Is let's bring out the Lincoln Bible. It's only brought out upon request.
He used the link. Yeah, so he used it on the first time
the
around.
first time.
And the other one was like the family Bible or something
his
like that.
family Bible. So same thing. The
Yeah.
Bible his mother gave him. So they're the same two Bibles again.
Yeah. So I wonder why. I mean, what do you think he didn't do it this time around? To be honest, I have no clue. Like, I'm not trying to set you up here. I generally don't know why he did that.
I think he forgot his cues.
Because do you think that's what it was? There was just so much moving around. Everybody expected outside and now inside.
Well, it wasn't that. I mean, it was also they were running late. We, by definition, for a full minute, had no president.
Oh my God! I remember you texting me this.
Yeah, they were behind schedule, and it's the Constitution says that the president's term expires at noon on January 20th. And noon came around and nobody was sworn in. They got JD finished at 12:01, so technically he was president for a full minute, so he can advertise that he was the president of the United States because he was for a full minute until they got Trump sworn in.
Yeah.
And that's why, if you notice, like the family wasn't even standing up there, like they were starting the swearing in without everybody in place.
Yeah. I can't imagine. I imagine that it must be a pain from an event coordinating perspective. You initially plan to do indoors, and then it turns outdoors. And I don't know how Trump is in terms of meetings. I don't know if he's like one of those guys that's religiously late to things. So I don't really have much on that. But he got sworn in. No hand on the Bible. He did say that it was that God, kept him alive to bring America back or something like that, or the golden age or something like that. But right before he got sworn in, Biden issued a bunch of what are they called again?
Pardons, presidential pardons.
Yeah, but it was a preempt pardon. It wasn't like
something brand new that we've never had before.
Yeah. So he issued those pardons. Typically you issue pardons for people that have committed crimes after the fact, right? You pardon them from any act, that was illegal, whatever it was. And there's different versions of that. There's full, there's different versions of this partial. There's also one based on conditions. But yeah, he gave it to a few people. The first one being, well, I don't know, it wasn't in order, but the first one I have on my list here was Anthony Fauci, who was Biden's former chief medical advisor. Then we have General Mark Milley, which was the former chair of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Then we have members and staff.
Well, hold on. And Milley, was he the general that was Trump's chief of staff as well, or no?
I don't know that answer. Okay. I don't know the answer. There was also members and staff that served in the House committee that invaded the January 6th attack, the police officers who testified before the committee, and all of his siblings and their spouses. So, right before Trump got sworn in. So, I mean, give me your initial reactions to that.
Well, it was also withheld. Like, they released some of the information of the pardons that the president issued as Trump was on his way over to the White House or about to go over to the White House. And then they held back the last round of pardons, which was for his family members that he must have sat on and just kind of waited until the last moment to do as he was walking out of the Oval Office. Yeah. And then that got released because they had it up until noon to get the information out there, because after that, his staff has all been relieved of their duties.
Yeah, so I was a little bit confused by that, because to my understanding was that, you issue pardons to people that have committed a crime, that are doing some sort of serving or whatever punishment, whatever it may be, for whatever thing they committed, right? I never heard given a pardon to someone that hasn't been accused of anything, at least legally by the court, and everything guilty of anything yet.
Well, there has been pardons.
So
there was the pardon.
let me go into that a little bit, right? So I look into the whole pardon power thing. First drafted in 1787, and bear with me here. But then you can't help but go into the definitional thing. So by definition, the definition of a pardon is to grant pardons for offenses against the United States, except in cases of impeachment. So there's history to that.
Okay.
There's history of that. There is some precedent, but it's a little bit of a difference. So Ford, 38th president.
Yep.
When he went into office, he pardoned his predecessor, the 37th president, Nixon, over the Watergate scandal.
He did.
Right, which is, I looked into that, and it was essentially him trying to finagle his way into re-election. From Watergate, the building, and all that kind of stuff. It's long story short, it's obviously a lot of nuances to that. After Nixon resigned, Ford issued the pardon, but it's kind of like he kind of did it. So it's obviously he resigned because it's kind of like guilty of it, like, but he knew. But at the same time, Ford was like, all right, before you get caught legally.
They hadn't brought charges to Nixon yet.
Right.
They were going to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like he just resigned going, I haven't done anything and you haven't proved anything. It was they were about to charge him.
Yeah, but he resigned in result of the whole Watergate thing.
He resigned to avoid being impeached, but that was the direction that was going to happen. That was not going to be stopped. So,
but the main difference between that and Biden is that one is for his predecessor, and this one is for essentially successor, right? Because check this out. So, what I mean by that is, unlike Ford, Biden is trying to limit the actions of his successor, whereas Ford was trying to cover his predecessor. Do you get what I mean?
Ford did it to unite the country.
Yeah, because it was like they were in a weird spot.
He wanted this over and behind them. He didn't want there to be an investigation. He didn't want, or to finish the investigation. He didn't want charges. He didn't want anything more he just wanted this dark period of American history to be closed and over, and we're going to start fresh and move on.
Yeah.
And as a result, Nixon kind of hid in California and didn't come out in public very much.
Yeah.
So it's not like it was a big reminder of, he was impeached and now he got to live this phenomenal life. No, he hid. He stayed on his property and very seldomly left.
Yeah. So Biden has said to that, because you remember it's like, what the hell's going on here? What does it even mean? Is that quote unquote, these are exceptional circumstances, and I cannot in good conscience do nothing. Right now, this whole hit list came out by, I believe, I forget who it was that got put into the head of I think it's Department of Defense. But I know that one of the fears was that he came into it, or that Trump was speaking and putting him in that leading position, that he had a hit list. And in that hit list was people like Fauci, was people like all the people that essentially Biden was trying to pardon ahead of time. So part of the argument is that he was trying to cover them, at least limit the damage to some extent.
Okay.
Because if they still go to court and they lie on oath, at that point I believe the term is perjury.
It's perjury.
So, are they still going to be held liable after that if they lie on the oath? So it's like I don't know. I don't know if there's any other point in history where something like this has happened. So I couldn't find anything on it, but
because it hasn't.
Yeah, it's a weird spot.
It hasn't.
So it really makes you wonder: is the problem really, the power of the pardon itself? Because when it was written, it was, they couldn't have foreseen the iteration is going to go into today. And I think part of the problem is that it's kind of left off into interpretation into whoever is president at the time.
Unfortunately, if you really get into it, most of the Constitution and all of the other rules that we use to regulate ourselves is actually requesting the person in office to hold themselves to a minimal standard and self-regulate. And technically, it doesn't say that. So here's our issue now is when you get somebody who goes up and says, well, it's not right here in black and white saying I have to do this, so I'm not going to.
Yeah.
And that's where this whole thing has been sliding downward, not just for the president. It is at the senators level, it's at the representatives level, and it's even affecting the Supreme Court justices.
Well, when I read that, that there's no specifically word for word, like when you, as you said, it's like you got to hold yourself to a minimum standard. That is such a slippery slope. I put myself in the position of a lawyer, right? That's a lawyer's nightmare, right? Because you never want to leave things into interpretation. You want factual evidence. Right, you want things hidden in writing and how they're supposed to be read, and how they're not supposed to be interpreted. So I think that's part of the bigger problem here, right? Because as you said, it's what's the minimum, right? What's the minimum standard?
I mean, you have to look at it. You used lawyer, profession of law. Lawyers are required to hold themselves to standards. Lawyers are required to uphold the law as well. And if they knowingly do something that is illegal, they are required to step down from practicing or be disbarred. You're not supposed to go up and say and commit a crime and then go, I plead not guilty. Did you know you committed a crime? Yes, then you can't plead not guilty if you want to have a shot of keeping your bar.
Is there
license.
such penalty though for a president with the pardon?
We've never. Well, first of all, again, it comes back down to we need the people in the office to hold themselves to a higher moral and ethical standard, and we don't have that at the moment. And as I said, it's sweeping throughout several different aspects of government.
Yeah.
But with the pardon, I would be in the camp to say that what Biden did isn't protected by the Constitution, and let Trump reverse them all. I've never heard of, and we've never had preemptive pardons. I'd let Trump reverse them all. What crime did they commit? And what are they being charged with, or what are they being investigated for? If they don't have any of that, so in my take, Biden, you just said that all these people are guilty, and you should charge them with something. Or Trump, go in and say, I'm sorry, but we've never had preemptive pardons before. I'm going to reverse that. And then let Congress vote on that one.
That made me wonder too. It's like when we're reading into the whole Nixon and Ford thing, I was like, so what's... I try to think bigger picture, but not like bigger picture, if that's even a word. That's not a word, but it's let's say that because if Trump, to that exact point of you saying that him do preemptive pardon, it's like saying, it's like, oh, are they guilty of something? Well, it almost makes it like a more like out in the open, like, okay, why are you doing that? So the reason why I say that is because I looked up, or it's like, okay, once again, because we've had this has been an ongoing conversation since the possibility of Trump being the first president that has been the convicted felon, which he now is.
34 counts.
34 counts. Yes, for the hush money,
34 times felon.
For the hush money trial. Yes, for the hush money trial against what's her name again?
Stormy
the
Daniels.
one poor Stormy Daniels. Yes, the porn star.
And he's also a convicted sex offender. So let's get all of his convictions out there.
So I was at that point I'm like, it's like, yeah, I was looking up the argument, why doesn't Trump pardon himself? And the biggest the biggest argument to that is because it's just admitting that you're guilty for what people are claiming you did.
It is, right. And technically the pardon shouldn't be allowed to be used on yourself. It has never been used on oneself, and it should never be that way.
Yeah.
If you want a pardon, it needs to be done by somebody else. But you know what, Biden? If you wanted to give out all these pardons, then you should have brought charges against all these people and then turn around and pardon them. But you didn't do that. So you were saying they weren't guilty, so you weren't going to bring charges against them? Then you don't get to give them pardons.
So I thought to myself, so what would be the chess move there, right? No, like what's your next move? I was like, okay, Vance. Let's say Vance just stepped foot for the first time into the Oval Office. Apparently, Vance never stepped foot into the Oval Office until he literally became vice president.
Correct.
Yeah, which is I can't imagine.
Here's how crazy it is. He has only been a senator for 2 years, and of that 2 years, he's been campaigning for a good chunk of it.
Yeah, so let's pull that
so
up.
He's not really been a senator that long.
So
and remember, a senator's term is 6 years. So he's not even halfway through being a senator.
So let's pull that up. Look up J.D. Vance steps foot in the Oval Office for the first time. It's a 46-second video by well, let's look up the Forbes breaking news because the other one is Sky News Australia. J.D. Vance first time office. Sure, that should bring it up. Right there. Let's do the Forbes breaking news. Yep, that one.
Sintra has just released AI employees, and it has me terrified. Meet your team.
Oh gosh. All right, skip. This is not enough.
Skip
it a little bit.
And we were standing there.
There should be a video of it. Skip it.
Well, there's still thank faster. As we were walking down the hall
skip it.
A while ago, really.
Oh, that appears to be not the video. Go back.
President walks us in, and the new vice president.
Let's see. I know there's a video of it. Go back, and then. Yeah, let's see what the Economic Times video is.
JD mentioned.
And then skip. Yep, there you go.
It's incredible. This is incredible. Only in America.
So that was his first time stepping. Foot into the Oval Office. I gotta imagine that's a pretty cool feeling. You know, say what you want to say, but your first time ever to step into the Oval Office, being the vice president of the United States of America, I can only imagine it's a cool feeling. So what I was gonna get, my point was that is the next move for JD to run for president the next term and then pardon Donald Trump.
What did Donald Trump do?
Well, he was convicted felon. He was guilty. He was guilty of the hush money trial. So is that the move, right? Because it would be a bad move for Trump to pardon himself. So is the next best move for J.D. Vance to become the next president in 2028 and then pardon Trump?
If Vance is going to stay on the Republican ticket, I don't see the Republicans keeping the White House after Trump. There's going to be a lot that happens. And ultimately, this is a position where the Democrats are most likely going to get the White House back in the next presidential election.
We'll see. You know, I can't tell the future, but you know, one could look at symptoms. So let's talk about Trump's inaugural address.
And historically, when the VP runs for president, that doesn't happen. Usually there's some time in between. Like Nixon was vice president, but he didn't go from vice president to president. He was out of office for a bit.
Right.
Same with Bush. Who else was there? I mean, but historically it's been, if you're going to be president, if you're a vice president, you go from vice president to president via votes. It's because the president is no longer the president.
So let's talk about the inaugural address. By Trump's inaugural address. So the speech was 2,885 words. In 2017, it was 1,433 words.
Okay.
Which is more than double than what he had his first time around in a 30-minute speech. So that's where it was at with that. Now, it was a dirty one. It was a dirty one. It says like there were some blows traded. You know, he right in front. I like how he said, well, I don't know if like is the right word, but you got to have some balls to do this, where you start listing all the president's names, and then he says all the presidents over there, and then he leaves Kamala last, and then it says the golden age of America begins right now. And then he goes to say, we have a government that has given a limited funding to the defense of foreign borders, but refuses to defend American borders, or more importantly, its own people. And then pretty much goes on to be the administration before. Like, he was leaving the last bit of blows he could while they were still there. You know, it's
inappropriate, especially because he's the one who stopped funding border security. He did. Under Biden's administration, he stopped that bill.
You know, the media will sell it otherwise. The media will sell it otherwise.
Research how strong of a bipartisan bill that was. The Republicans actually wrote the bill. And then when it was time to go vote on it, Trump said, this is a horrible bill, don't vote on it. And the Republicans, the ones that actually wrote the bill, then said, oh no, I don't want to vote for what I wrote. You wrote it, and now you no longer support what you wrote. So then the bill didn't go through.
So another thing I like that he said was that he wants to bring a society that is colorblind and is merit-based. I like that he said that. The part, you know, we've had the conversation about whole DEI and merit-based system. So I align with this. I mean, I think that that's something we need to put people in positions there that they're qualified for, not that, you know, they're just physically, not just from an appearance perspective, look like they're qualified for. So there was that. And then this was another thing that stuck out with me. Oh my God, you're going to have to pull this up. So he says this: it will be officially the policy of the U.S. that there will only be two genders, male and female. That's what he said. Please pull up on YouTube Piers Morgan, Harry Sisson, Sisson. This was Piers Morgan the other. You know Piers Morgan, right? The guy in the UK. Piers Morgan, Harry Sisson. That's Sisson. Click enter. And then let's see. Scroll down. Hold on. Go back up and then write two genders. Yeah, click that short clip right there. The shorts.
Do you think there should be more than two genders in America?
Yeah, I don't know what that executive order means. I don't know what the president declared.
It means there are two genders, male and female. Would you disagree with that?
How many genders are there, Harry?
Yeah,
Come on, little guys. How many genders are there?
Again, these guys don't know what they're talking about, so they won't be.
Harry, how many genders are there?
How many genders are there, Harry?
How many genders are there?
What's the lead? I'm gonna use Joe Biden's answers. At least two. At least two. That satisfies.
Well, how many more are there than male and female?
That's a TikTok answer. There's at least two. At least two.
Well, no, hang on. There's male and female.
Like human brain.
Donald Trump says there's male and female. There are two.
Okay, Dave.
How many more are there after male and female, Harry?
There's at least two. Now, hang on, let me get.
How many more are there? What are the other ones?
There's at least two.
What are the other ones?
Harry, let's try it this way. You're a female. What is the other gender?
It's so funny how these conservatives just get time to lie on this show, but when I'm speaking, they'll
we asked a damn question. You've just been asked a very simple question. Do you think there should be?
So.
And again, he is trying to talk, and they're trying to talk over him. So that point was made that, you know, he can't finish his sentence because they keep talking over him.
But he wouldn't give a straight answer. He says there are at least two.
Okay.
Arthur, how many genders are there?
There are at least two.
Is that really your answer?
That's after watching that. Yes, there are at least two.
Arthur, honestly speaking, say we're off camera. And I ask you, how many genders are there? How many are there?
We have it defined that there are two genders.
Okay. See, I think that, you know, we get to a point, in our personal lives as a nation where we have it so good.
But I don't understand what's the big issue about having two genders? What's the argument?
Well, it causes chaos between people.
How's it causing chaos? Over what?
We just saw it.
Yeah, but what has brought us to this?
Well,
what are we fighting over?
What is what fighting over?
What are we fighting over that we have to define that there are two genders? What's the issue that we got to that has to be?
That's one of the many details, right? Because then you go into the two genders, then you go into the pronouns, then you go into, you know, the funding of these things. You go into. Are we still good on that?
We lost light.
Are we still good on that angle?
Okay.
and then we start allocating funds to fund this idea, which means then we start taking funds from other things that might be more crucial, things like police, or maybe things like government aid programs. We start funding these ideas like what is there more than two genders kind of thing. So that at point, but here's
Okay,
it is.
but here's
It's
my-
100% a stupid thing.
Correct.
It's
It's getting
100% a
everybody
stupid
off
thing.
of topic. So what's our issue? Are we fighting over bathrooms and male and female bathrooms? Because that's a really easy fix.
I'm gonna get a lot of crap after this episode, but you know what? 2025. There's this video, right, of this hairstylist, right? This hairstylist. She sits you down. She sits you down, and she says, first off, she's like, I'll give her some benefit of the doubt. She says, "Can I touch you?" Well, first off, I'll give her the benefit of the doubt for it's nice to ask, but at the same time, you're going there to get your hair done. Of course you're gonna get asked. And the second question that follows is, what are your pronouns? Bro, it's like, I'm here to get my hair done.
Well, what does that have to do with anything?
Well, it's where the delusion has gone, bro. It's where the point of delusion has gone now. Those are the things that we're fighting now. So the point that I was trying to make earlier was that at times, ourselves as a nation, sometimes we reach such a sweet spot where everything's going so good that we bring misery upon ourselves because we get bored. You ever heard of the saying? How does it go? Is weak man? No, strong man. What's the saying again? Hold on. I don't want to mess this up. Hold on. Give me 1 second here. I think it's strong man. Hold on. Strong man quotes. Strong man quote.
The whole gender thing has really gotten to be the whole smoke and mirror things, that I'm trying to put something out there that I want you to pay attention to, so you don't pay attention to what I'm doing over here because we're too busy focusing on this BS issue.
No, that's
that
literally
is not
what
an
it is.
issue, but we're making it an issue because we want everybody to focus on this, so you don't see all the slimy, shady stuff I'm doing over here because you're paying attention
But
to
that's
this.
the problem, right? And we start funding these shady things that we're trying to distract, and that's where it
Correct.
becomes a bigger
But we
issue.
just need to get down to...
So that's like one of the. So that's why I like that. I like that when he said that, because it's one less bullshit we have to deal with. Because honestly, with all due respect, it's the wheel, right? If it's working and it's rolling, what is there to fix it for? I get improving it, but it's not broken. It's fine. The saying is, hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men create hard times. Now get rid of the whole gender thing there. Just in general, people, that's what happens. We go through a utility curve of things, right? We have it tough, so we try to get to the good spot. We reach that good spot and then inevitably we take ourselves to the bad spot. Yeah, I believe Malcolm Gladwell goes into the whole bell-shaped curve thing in his book. I believe it's David and Goliath. I know there's a biblical thing to that too, but there's a book where he goes all into that. But yeah, so I mean that's one of the things in the speech that I wasn't able to dissect the whole speech, but it's just all the nonsense, man, all the noise. We've been talking about this merit-based versus DEI. I don't give a crap what you look like. I don't give a crap what you look like. I don't give a crap if it fuels you, if it motivates you, great. But it shouldn't be the reason why you get something. It should be the reason why you get something is because you qualify it, you deserved it, you've earned it, you put in the work that the next person has. That's the kind of mindset I'm on. And if that puts us there, I'm cool with that. But I know you said that it's just a bunch of BS that's distracting us from the real world problems, and I agree, right? And I think that's a step in the right direction. Do you have any other notes on the address?
On the address itself?
Yeah, because that's as far I was able to go into the address in the time I had to research it.
No, I mean just interesting observation there. You have Dr. Biden, who showed up all in purple, which is, red and blue combined. So
Right.
She's trying to prove that the country needs to come together.
Mm-hmm.
Both Biden and Trump showed up with purple ties.
Mm-hmm.
But I did find it interesting
I didn't even notice that, actually.
that Melania wore an outfit that would be appropriate to wear to a funeral.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that hat. So
Not that she dressed in black. That's not typically a color you see from the first lady on Inauguration Day. Is such a somber outfit.
So that reminds me of something. I think we don't have to pull this up, but I saw that at one point. I think after Trump was
No, as he walked in,
no,
when he went to kiss her,
yeah,
when he walked in, because she was already seated first, he walked in and then he went to kiss his wife on the way to his seat. And because of the hat she was wearing, he couldn't get in close enough. But then the part that I liked is after he was unsuccessful in kissing her, she got a slight smile on her face.
Well, let's look this up. Let's look up Donald Trump and Melania Trump share kiss at inauguration. I thought this was pretty funny. You know, the comment sections never fail on social media, man. They can bash you, they can humor you. They'll take you through a whole roller coaster of emotions. Here, let's sure.
Welcome to America. What do you think?
Let's fast forward a little bit. Yeah.
See, smile on her face now.
They're calling that the Bluetooth kiss. They're calling that the Bluetooth kiss. Look at that. Rewind that. Pause it right there. Hold on. Go back. Yeah. Pause it right. Boom. Hold on, right there. Boom. Device disconnected right there. So that was the Bluetooth kiss. So, you know, that's funny that you know, that was a great segue into the next day. Was that did you close your thought on that?
I was just commenting on the colors. You know, it's just every time Melania's come out about where she's going to live and just some other things, she got caught with a open mic or someone overheard that she was bashing about, I don't understand why they make such a big deal about the Christmas decorations at the White House. So now she made sure very much to say that I am so looking forward to Christmas at the White House and decorating again. And then because she didn't live in the White House the first time around. Now it came out that she'll be splitting her time between the White House, Mar-a-Lago, and New York, but the White House will be considered her residence. Okay, that's great. Yeah, I can consider that my residence and be there one day a year, but no, they haven't said that she is going to be living there full
she
time.
said she is. I saw that in her interview. She said she'll be where she needs to be, essentially.
Correct.
Yeah,
so that was kind of gracefully saying, I'm going to declare the White House my residence, but I'll only be there as needed.
Yeah. So other inauguration moments that I want to talk about that was also notable in there was all the tech CEOs. All of the tech CEOs. Some people were calling it the tech oligarchs.
Yep.
The oligarch bros. They had Meta's CEO, Zuckerberg, Amazon's, Bezos, Google's, pardon my butchering here, Sundar Pichai, Tesla's Elon Musk, Apple's Tim Cook, and I'm sure many others. So yeah, they were all kind of set up all in the same section. All just hanging out, kind of just watching it all happen. But the thing that was very, very notable in that group was that, you know how Facebook, I don't know if you know, but Meta did a collaboration with Ray-Ban. They came out with some smart glasses. Do me a favor, look up Zuckerberg, Bezos' wife. Look this up. I don't know if he was testing his new Meta glasses, smart glasses or anything. Does this ring a bell at all? Okay. Yeah, so this is going to be your first time maybe hearing about this or seeing this.
Bezos.
Yep, it's right there.
Bezos
that first
isn't married.
Or a girlfriend. Sorry, girlfriend. Go down. Yeah, you're fine. Hold on. Go down. Let's see. Oh, geez, is the video not anywhere?
Well,
Hold on. Go all the way. Look up
because
Zuckerberg.
you're asking for Bezos' wife.
Zuckerberg looking Bezos' wife. Do Zuckerberg looking? Well, you didn't have to backspace,
but it's not his wife, and that's probably what's stopping.
Yeah. Well, that's what they're saying. So, do Zuckerberg's looking Bezos? Oh my God! Why are you backspacing everything? Staring out here. Let's see that. Yeah, click on that first video. Yeah.
Honeybook completely changed how I do business.
Here, when these ads come up, focus the cameras on us, man. No free dollar around here. All right, so let's fast forward this a little bit. Hold on, there you go. Go back. Right there. Look at this. This was literally half of the time that they panned the camera to Zuckerberg. Now, in Zuckerberg's defense, keep playing.
U.S. President Donald Trump's
Yeah, I mean, look, what is she wearing? Pause it. What is she wearing? You know, like she. What is it? It's literally just a bra under a jacket. That's a fashion statement. You know, you don't do that at this kind of events. I don't know why Bezos didn't, you know, be like, hey, you know, maybe we're going to you know, you saw Carrie Underwood, right? She was covered from top to bottom and like, you know, no sleeves, but she had that at inauguration. And then, you know, I think he was checking the new Meta Ray-Bans class to see if they were working, or maybe contacts. Maybe they're moving into contacts now. But I don't know. I mean, do you deem these an appropriate outfit for an inauguration?
Yes, I would say at the very least, you know, no shirt, no shoes, no service.
Oh my god. Dude, this is not an appropriate outfit for this kind of occasion. Look, I
Correct. She should be wearing a shirt.
you know, I get it, you know, when you're going out to like the Met Gala or like a night out or whatever the case is, but this is like,
That's not Met Gala.
no crap, no shit. But like, you know, it's just I don't know. But yeah, that was one thing that was being talked about that entire time. Another thing that was being talked about, look up Elon. And not probably what you're thinking, because I didn't get to dive into that too much. Do Elon do swearing in? Yeah, I knew this was going to be the first thing that came up.
Of course it is.
Hold on. No. What are you doing? Do Elon and Barron. Barron Trump. 2 R's. Yep. Yeah, look at the second video by Sky News Australia.
Before we go to a break, have a look at this clip of Elon Musk and Donald Trump's
Like, this is a video that's been going around.
inauguration, or at least
Like one of the two, at least.
serious.
Yes. So here we have Barron on the right, and then we have Elon. Look at the two energies that we have here. Some people said 2 different kinds of autism. Then again, play that back. Pause it. Look at that. What's going on here, Arthur? What do we got going on here? You got Elon over here doozing off, and then you have, you know, Barron looking like he's going through a quarter-life crisis here.
Well, he's not even up to.
He's not even that age yet.
No.
You know, some people.
It's not
Have
even
you ever
college.
seen? Have you ever seen the suitcase video?
The suitcase video.
You ever seen the video where he was a little kid and he's running around Trump's office saying, "I love my suitcase"? No. Oh my God! Please look that up. I know we're having a little too much fun with this, but I promise you, it's all related. Look up. Just clear all that. Leave Barron Trump, and then write suitcase, but SOOT. Yeah, see if that pops it up. There you go. Hold on. Look up the second video by Blux. See what happens here. Shout out to all these people that are allowing us to enjoy these videos here.
With 8 crispy, bold Louisiana wing flavors.
Skip it. There you go. Next.
I like my suitcase. I have to go to school now.
Yeah, you will have lunch and then you go to school.
Now I'm gonna go.
Yeah, first you will have lunch and then you go to school.
Yeah, let's move on. People were saying that the entire time, because there was many shots of him like that during the swearing in and during the parade, where he was just like wandering off. People were just saying, like, quoting over it, saying it's like crap. I'm really missing the suitcase right now. Or at least I'm just poking fun at it. But that was what I had for the swearing in portion of the inauguration. To be honest with you, I mean, I feel like we could touch on it a little bit, but I don't want to touch on it too much just because I didn't get that far into it. I know a lot happened at the parade. I know Trump signed a ton of executive orders right there and then during the parade.
He signed 9.
He signed 9.
8 or 9.
He signed 9, and then that night, I think he signed a ton more.
He signed.
Yeah, we'll have to cover that on the next episode. I mean, how much time are we in?
A little over an hour.
Yeah, so we're a little over an hour now. Let's. Did you have anything on the parade?
If you can just pull up any image from the Capital One Center or Capital One Arena, just doesn't matter. But I found something extremely striking the moment they pulled that up on screen.
Okay.
And I'm not quite sure which country Trump was trying to give a nod to.
Mm-hmm. Trump was trying to give a nod to?
Mm-hmm. And it's not really being brought up a lot in media. I tried to research it, and it's only a couple of people have mentioned it. Choose the one right there in this top center where you can see the Jumbotron. Perfect. Make that the whole screen.
Just right click and then right click and open a new tab.
Look, that's perfect. Nope, it's fine. Can you refresh me real quick on what are America's colors?
Oh my God, you're gonna go there. Oh Lord, I haven't seen this. Oh snap. Okay.
I'm not quite sure why we have yellow stars on a red background unless we are trying to give a nod out to China, because that's very reminiscent of what their flag looks like. And if you'll also notice, it's 5.
Is that yellow?
It's yellow stars on a red background.
I don't know. Does zoom that in?
No, this isn't a good photo if you're not seeing it as yellow. But when they put it, when I was watching it, it was yellow stars on a red background. And it's 5 yellow stars going around in that circle. And China's flag is 5 yellow stars on a red background.
Open up a new tab and open the China flag.
Now, the other thing...
Open up in a new tab the China flag.
It's 5 stars all together, and then they have all the stars going around.
How does... look it up. China flag?
Yep.
I thought it was just a simple... Oh, shit.
And now the other one, because I'm not sure if he's trying to give a nod out to China, but...
Now go back to the other one.
And if you also would like to pull up the USSR flag, which is what
here we go.
Putin is essentially trying to bring back.
Mm-hmm. Are you saying that's the 5th star?
I don't know if he's trying to
I never took you for a conspiracy theorist.
But I've never seen a patriotic event where we put yellow stars on a red background. It's always white stars, and if we're going to have white stars, they're always on a blue background.
Okay.
But that whole top half of the arena was all red with yellow stars.
You know that 4th picture is fake. You know that 4th picture is fake. You know they don't roll like that over there.
But you can go back to the arena.
Yeah, go back to the arena.
But as you can see, the whole thing, all the levels was all red with all... Yeah, so I'm not seeing a whole lot of red, white, and blue in this photo. The only red, white, and blue you saw was down on the lower level, and that was it. The whole top half of the whole top 3/4, top section was all red and yellow.
Pull up Elon Musk at Capital One, and we'll close out at that.
There's no reason to.
I mean, pull it up. I mean, you already went there, so I don't have much info on this, but we could briefly touch on it. And then images. I think we're having a little bit too much fun with this. Poor controller. Yeah, I know. Whichever image you want to pick, really. Well, no, you open it first, and then you do that, because then you get that. Well, no, go back. You know, open up that piece of crap.
See, now I see white stars on a blue background, but I have to be down at the bottom.
Click the image first, and then open it in a new tab. There you go. All right. Look at this. Let's close out on this note, Arthur. Let's close out on this note. There's a lot of back and forth that's going on with this.
I can see why.
Now, I didn't make it this far into Inauguration Day, this is something that here's where I'm at with it. And here's what I've consumed by the media, both main and independent. Everybody's obviously making the Hitler reference. Elon is getting a lot of backlash from it. Now, I think I saw Elon joking about it on X, and I think that was a bad move. I'm hoping that he clears this up on what the hell exactly was going on here, but it's really not a bad look. I mean, it's really not a good look. I mean, wow, someone could cut that up and really mess me up now. It's really, really not a good look. Now, people are arguing when he said, "My heart goes out to you," because what happened was he did that and then he said, "My heart goes out to you," right? So people are arguing because he did that before he said that, it was two different things, you know. And if he would have done that after he said, "My heart goes out to you,"
Yes,
it
but
would
that
have been a
was
different argument.
okay. But the way you just did it was a softer gesture. The
Oh
way
well,
he
no,
but the way he moved his arm
yeah.
was very stiff
Yeah.
and regimented, just like
I see the I see the arguments. I see the arguments.
it wasn't like it was a soft getting up to that
I
locked
see the
position.
arguments, and people are saying that he's autistic, but but he's not dumb. He's autistic, but he's not dumb. So I think only he knows. I think only he knows what he was really doing. I think this is really it's weird. It's very, very weird. I wish that he would just talk about it in the air what the hell he was doing, because this is not a good look. This is not a good look at all. Now, if you look at earlier in his speech, he was going around saying yes, 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 yes. Which is a little odd the way he celebrates. It looked like something of a supervillain out of a movie. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. So for the people that are. The people that that watch this, they have an idea of where I lie politically, but yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know about how I feel about the gold stars. Yeah,
And I wish there was more being talked about that. It's only a couple.
It's the first time I hear about it.
I've Googled it repeatedly. I've tried to find other
Yeah.
references. There's just a few people that have just
Yeah.
made subtle notes or just said, "Can someone explain?"
Yeah.
Why we were
Yeah.
nodding to China or something
Yeah.
like that. But yeah, the first time I saw the arena and I saw it, I'm like, I'm looking at the variation of the Chinese flag, and
Yeah.
then I thought about it a little bit more and realized, wait a minute, I've seen yellow on red before, and that was the USSR. And isn't Putin trying to bring back the USSR?
Conspiracy theorist Arthur was not on my 2025 bingo card.
But this isn't.
For sure.
I mean, when you have a presidential anything, these are the signs that people look for.
Yeah.
Period. They want to know what color. Like anytime they have an event for different heads of states, it's picked up on about the colors of the flowers on the table. Are they the colors representing that country, or are they the colors representing a country that
it's
country
subtle hints
opposes?
laying in plain sight.
So there's all of these little nuances that go into that. But again, I have never seen any USA rally of any sort with yellow stars on a red background so prominent like that.
Yeah. So let's close out here. I know that there's a lot happening with. I know Trump has been acting on a lot this week, and we're only 4 days in. We haven't even made it to the end of the week, and there's already a ton happening.
He's already contradicting what he's saying with his executive orders, so that's already interesting.
So one of the things that's going around a lot, the argument. I mean, a lot of heat around recently that I've seen the most these past couple of days on Instagram, X, you name it, is the whole immigration and ICE showing up at all these places unannounced and then just taking people. It's a very slippery slope of a subject. So people are probably expecting us to go into it this episode. I think it's still very fresh. I think that there's plenty of information out there to know your rights when it comes to ICE and everything like that, and your constitutional rights. But yeah, no, I haven't drawn a conclusion with myself on that yet, so I have to do more homework. I think it's fresh. I think we need to let it marinate for a couple of days, see what goes on, and then kind of go from there. I think we can cover it on the next episode. But yeah, Arthur, welcome back. welcome back. I feel like this rolled pretty well. Thank you for all of your help. If you guys like this kind of flow we got going on here, and and you find it a little bit more engaging, we would appreciate the feedback. We're here to inform and entertain you in any way possible, while still trying not to rip our heads off. But yeah, this has been another episode of the EP Podcast. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any more episodes that are coming in the future. We are here, we're alive, and until next time, bye-bye.